Hello everyone, this is Gamer. Sorry, I delayed there for a second, that was weird. Anywho, welcome back to the 39 Steps. Let's continue this game, shall we? The next part of the story is deeper into this mess. Scudder has confided in Hane, but he is not out of danger. Officially dead, he must now lie low. Deeper into this mess. Tuesday, 19th May, 1914, Wimpole Street, London. Looks like it's 6:40 at night or in the afternoon. Or in the... Wait, 6:40 in the afternoon? I mean 6:40 at night or 6:40 in the morning. Yep, in the morning. That was, whoa, 6:34?
Stop that row, Paddock. There's a friend of mine, Captain... he's dossing down in there. Get breakfast for 2, and then come and speak to me.
Paddock. Alright, let's do the character. He had about as much gift of the gab as a hippopotamus, and was not a great hand at valeting. But I knew I could count on his loyalty. Acquaintance. Paddock was a fellow I had done a good turn to out on the Salakwi, and I had inspanned him as my servant as soon as I got to England. Ooh, that's bright. I told Paddock a fine story about how my friend was a great swell, with his nerves pretty bad from overwork, who wanted absolute rest and stillness. Nobody had got to know he was here, or he would be besieged by communications from the India office and the Prime Minister, and his cure would be ruined. And I am bound to say Scudder played up splendidly when he came to breakfast. He fixed Paddock's with his eyeglass, just like a British officer. Asked him about the Boer War and slung out at me a lot of stuff about imaginary pals. Paddock couldn't learn to call me sir, but he sirred Scudder as if his life depended on it. I left him with the newspaper and a box of cigars, and headed out to Alexandra Park Racecourse. When I got back, the lift man had an important face.
Nasty business here this morning, sir. Gent in number 15 been and shot himself. I've just took him to the mortuary. The police are up there now.
Floor 5. I ascended to number 15 and found a couple of bobbies and an inspector busy making an examination. I asked a few idiotic questions and they soon kicked me out. A couple of bobbies? So does that mean bodies in like British slang? Language? I don't know. I attended the inquest the next day. Coroner's court. The jury found it a case of suicide when of unsound mind. I gave Scudder a full account of the affair, and it interests him greatly. He said he wished he could have attended for he reckoned it would be about as spicy as to read one's own obituary notice. Scudder was very peaceful the first 2 days he stayed with me. He read and smoked a bit and made a hemp of joltings in a notebook. And every night we had a game of chess, at which he beat me hollow. But on the third day, I could see he was beginning to get restless. He fixed up a list of days and started making remarks against them. He started listening for little noises and was always asking me if Paddock could be trusted. Once or twice he got very peevish and apologized for it. I didn't blame him. I made every allowance, for he had taken on a fairly stiff job. And then one night he was very solemn. Excuse me.
Say, Hanny,
What is it?
Judge, I should let you a bit deeper into this business. I should hate to go out without leaving somebody else to put up a fight.
He began to tell me in detail what I had only heard from him vaguely. I did not give him very close attention. The fact is, I was more interested in his own adventures than in his high politics. The plot thickens. Alright, Blackstone. He talked about a Blackstone and a man that lips in his speech, and he described very particularly somebody that he never referred to without a shudder. An old man who could hood his eyes like a hawk. Carolides. I reckon that Carolides and his affairs were not my business, so a lot that Scudder said slipped clean out of my memory. He was very clear that the danger to Carolides would not begin till he had got to London. It would come from the very highest quarters, where there would be no thought of suspicion. Alright, Julia Shekhanyi? I don't know how to say that last name. He mentioned the name of a woman, Julia Shekhanyi, as having something to do with the danger. She would be the decoy, I gathered, to get Carolides out of the care of his guards. I totally butchered her last name. I apologize. I apologize for that. He remained solemn for the rest of the evening and spoke a good deal about death.
I reckon it's like going to sleep when you're pretty well tired out. Awaking to find a summer day with the scent of hay coming in at the window. I used to thank God for such mornings way back in the bluegrass country. And I guess I'll thank him when I wake up on the other side of Jordan.
The next day he was much more cheerful and read the life of Stonewall Jackson much of the time, while the rest of London celebrated Empire Day. I went out to dinner with a mining engineer whom I had to see on business, and came back in time for our game of chess before turning in. Oh boy. Nice.
God. Scudder.
Oh no, someone killed him. In the soup, the murder of the American spy suggests he wasn't talking hot air, but everything points to Henny as the killer. How many minutes are we in? We're 10 minutes in. Let's do this episode in the soup. Oh my god. Now things are getting interesting. Saturday, 23rd May, 1914, Wimpole Street, London. In the soup. Stabbed. We don't get to see his face. The poor staring white face was more than I could bear. I staggered to a cupboard, found the brandy, and swallowed several mouthfuls. I had seen men die violently before. Indeed, I had killed a few myself in the Maidavelle War, but this cold-blooded indoor business was different. I needed to think. A brutal slaying. Alright, Henny, come on. Let's focus on this. I am an ordinary sort of fellow, not braver than other people, but I hate to see a good man down, and that long knife would not be the end of Scudder if I could play the game in his place. Pointless endeavor. Few people knew me in England. I had no real pal who could come forward and swear to my character. Perhaps that was what those secret enemies were playing for. They were clever enough for anything, and an English prison was as good a way of getting rid of me till after June 15th as a knife in my chest. If I told the whole story and by any miracle was believed, I would be playing their game. Carolites would stay at home, which was what they wanted. The body. His enemies had found him and had taken the best way to make certain of his silence. Scudder had been in my room for 4 days, and his enemies must have reckoned that he had confided in me. I would be next to go. It might be that very night, or the next day, or the day after, but my number was up all right. Wow. Huh. No chance. Supposing I went out now and called in the police, or went to bed and let Paddock find the body and call them in the morning, what kind of story was I to tell about Scudder? The odds were 1,000 to 1 that I would be charged with the murder, and the circumstantial evidence was strong enough to hang me. Damn. Someone must have been searching for something, perhaps for the pocketbook. Alright, let's look around. Smoking room. Oh, there you go. Textbook. Show text. The life of Stonewall Jackson. Do your duty and leave the rest to Providence. Huh, Providence, huh? Interesting. Let us, too, trust that all is well, and look beyond the storm, beyond the darkness, blood, and mourning of the present. The sunshine seemed less bright, the future dark with clouds and gloom death. Jackson is dead. Dead and gone like a common, everyday mortal. Who could supply its place? Oh, that's it. Okay. cigarettes. Killer's knife collected. The knife had pinned Scudder to the floor. A pocket knife. And some coins. I think I have all the evidence. Oh, I was already there. Where do I go now? I missed an area, dang it. There was no trace of Scudder's black book. Most likely the enemy has found it, but they had not found it on Scudder's body. I had come to a decision. I must vanish somehow, and keep vanished till the end of the second week in June. Then I must find a way to get in touch with the government people and tell them what Scudder had told me. I wish to heaven he had told me more, and that I had listened more carefully to what he had told me. There was a big risk that even if I weathered the other dangers, I would not be believed in the end. I must take my chance of that, and hope that something might happen which would confirm my tale in the eyes of the government. My notion was to get off to some wild district where my veldcraft would be of some use to me, for I would be like a trapped rat in a city. I considered that Scotland would be best, for my people were Scotch, and I could pass anywhere as an ordinary Scotsman. I fixed on Galloway as the best place to go. It was the nearest wild part of Scotland, and from the look of the map was not over thick with population. London, huh? Interesting. Okay. How was I to make my way to St. Pancras train station? I was pretty certain that Scudder's friends would be watching for me outside. This puzzled me for a bit. Then I had an inspiration, on which I went to bed and slept for 2 troubled hours. Waking up, I had a great revulsion of feeling, and felt a God-forsaken fool. My inclination was to let things slide and trust to the British police taking a responsible view of my case. But as I reviewed the situation, I could find no arguments to bring against my decision of the previous night. So with a wry mouth, I resolved to go on with my plan. I hunted out a well-used tweed suit, a pair of strong nail boots, and a flannel shirt with a collar. Into my pockets I stuffed a spare shirt, a cloth cap, some handkerchiefs, and a toothbrush. I took 50 pounds of it in sovereigns, and a belt which I have brought back from Rhodesia. That's a lot of blood in the sink. Oh, now it's clear. What do you do? Hide the body? What? Oh. Oh, I shaved. Now came the next step. Paddock used to arrive punctually at 7:30 and let himself in with a latchkey. But about 27 minutes to 7, as I knew from bitter experience, the milkman turned up with a great clatter of cans and deposited my share outside my door. On him, I staked all my chances. I staked all my chances. I went into the darkened smoking room where I had breakfast off of whiskey and soda and some biscuits. By this time, it was getting on for 6 o'clock. I put a pipe in my pocket and filled my pouch from the tobacco jar on the table by the fireplace. What the? It seemed a good omen.
Goodbye, old chap. I'm going to do my best for you. Wish me well, wherever you are.
I hung about in the hall waiting for the milkman. I was fairly choking to get out of the doors. 6:41. The fool had chosen this day of all to be late. Third-class citizen, wanted by the police for murder and by the real killers for knowing too much. Honey must flee London. We'll do that on the next episode of the 39 Steps. Wow. I was not expecting that to happen. Anywho, I'm going to end my video here. If you like these series of videos, please give this video a like. Comment on this video on how you like the game so far. Subscribe to the channel if you see more gaming videos like these. Alright, this has been Gamer. Peace out, and I'll definitely see you on the next episode of the 39 Steps. Bye everyone.